Hi everyone, it's Aaron Lowe, Master the Voice, but today's topic we're going to talk about swallowing, which still uses the voice box to create the movement of the swallow along with the push and the pull of the tongue and the pharynx and the release of muscles down into your collarbone. The voice box or the laryngeal structure has to move out of the way so that food can go behind the larynx down into the esophagus. And we're going to use this software again by Visible Body. Thanks to Visible Body, this software is amazing. I love using it to describe how things work in the front neck or the body. And this is the skull, and this bone right here, this is the hyoid bone. It's a floating bone. We'll talk about it a lot in elevated larynx and voices that try to sing some high notes with their voice box instead of with breath and resonance. But we'll go with today being when this engages and becomes retracted, elevated, basically trapped, then your brain goes, I got to swallow something, and yet the movement won't be there. And so I see a lot of people that are suffering. And the first quality of life is breathing. It's a big piece of the breathing structure being normalized, but it's also the second quality of life then is swallowing. Then voicing, that's third. So we do deal with the three top qualities of life, which are breath, swallow, eating, and voicing, making sound, communicating. So when I add the muscle structure to this model, but I got to take away a few things. We got to take away platysma. Platysma does not help us swallow. It does not do much other than connect your collarbone, and the muscle systems are underneath that. So we'll remove it. And then I also like to remove the sternocleidomastoid muscle. The sternocleidomastoid does not help me out. It's a head turning muscle like this. Okay? Now we start to see when we swallow, there's a grouping of muscles that pull down on the hyoid. This muscle, there's a muscle underneath there as well, that one, the sternothyroid. But all those muscles anchor your larynx. So that's part of the antagonism of the voice box when it moves when we swallow, is that some muscles lift it up and then some muscles pull it back down again. And that's part of the push and pull of the larynx. We've got muscles then, I'm going to remove those, hide those ones. I want to add in the laryngeal structure. So let's put a trachea in there. Let's actually do this and come back again so we can see the larynx itself. The muscles that are back through here, this muscle is a very specific muscle that I target, and we're going to make it bigger. No, we're going to make, no, sorry. This muscle right here, the middle pharyngeal constrictor, has to do with holding on to the hyoid bone right at the greater horn of the hyoid, right at that joint. So we need to relax this muscle for you to be able to swallow. And then there's other muscles that if I pull it back into view, we have to have a good balance between the digastric muscle, the stylohyoid, the hyoglossus, the mylohyoid, and all these muscles that are part of the suprahyoid sling, or above my hyoid. That's a base of tongue muscle group that hook up to not the tongue in our mouth, but the tongue down here underneath the jawline. And then those muscles go all the way back up to where we have the sternocleidomastoid, but the mastoid bone, okay, is part of the skull, and some of these muscles come up to the styloid process or the mastoid, and that creates that sling. If the muscles have retracted the larynx too much, then the voice wants to go forward and it's not allowed to go forward. So what we do is we then release those muscles and balance out the tension so that the hyoid has a chance to move around. And this is something we learn to feel and to assess and to make sure that people will understand. I have a 25 years of practice at feeling the voice box and saying, I think this is your left side, this muscle, your right side, that muscle, your collarbone, certain muscles that create an imbalance of the structure. And that's the reason why they're having swallowing issues, sometimes for years. It can connect to emotional tension. It can connect to a cough or a cold or onset of certain things that's sort of misuse of the structure, but we still can fix it. We can retrain and reset the behavior of those muscles, which we're born with. We're born using those muscles naturally, and they're soft as we develop in life. There are just things that can impact it, like whiplash and concussion. Accidents like that can really change the tension dynamic rapidly. Even emotional reactions can cause tension in the breathing to then cause tension in the larynx, which then transfers into the bodies of the body's muscles and the voice box muscles. So I really do want people to understand that if you haven't had a stroke, if you haven't had nerve damage, if you don't have a degenerative disease like Parkinson's or ALS, and you've been having swallowing issues, we can fix it. We can target those muscles, relax them, show you how to relax them, give exercises up so that you understand how to fix them on your own. And then the voice box becomes mobile, and that brings back your swallowing function. It's a very key piece of that second quality of life. And don't allow too many searches to go on before you come and look for laryngeal musculoskeletal in your community, okay? And if not, just send me a message and I'll help you out. I'll try to find a way to get some help for you, and we'll see what happens by sort of like searching through your community if I can give you a direction. Okay? Great talking with you, and we will talk tomorrow about the lymph node system. And just to give you a quick synapse of the lymph nodes, boom, there's lymph nodes. We're going to use this software again. Thanks, Visible Body. We'll see you guys soon. Bye now.